Hey students, in this video I want to go over some of the learning activity problems just to give you a hands of kind of what's going on with them so you can understand it. I know it's a little bit different than what I taught in the lessons, but it's just kind of one of those things is these are the only kind of questions we can find, right? So let's get started. So we got here problem 2. Again, I was telling students this previously that it's kind of like a map, right? Where you have a begin position and then you kind of follow the map and you land where the treasure is, right? So basically we're going to do the same idea here. Remember with these functions, right? If I say f of g of 1, for example, down there, you have to start at your g first, okay? So you have to start there first, and you have to see that, oh, when g, you have to look for the g, and when x is equal to 1. All right, so here's your g functions. At x equals 1, the value is going to be 2, right? So now this simplifies into f of, what was g of 1? We said that was 2, right? So now we have f of 2. So now I have to do the second part by finding x equals 2. Well, that's just the next one right there. And so I look at the f values here and it looks right there. So my answer is going to be 4. All right, so that's how you do that one. If you do f of 9, for example, well, same thing goes. You're kind of following the path where you start at x equals 9. So you start at x equals 9. That's right over here. And now your value is 0. So then I'm going to go to the 0 value right here, and that's my answer, 7. So f of 9 is 7. All right, so this is the same idea, except now it's in graph form. Remember, all these different points, right? This bottom one is your x, and then on the top part, we say f of x or your y value, or g of x or your y value, right? Where you have your points, your ordered pairs being that. Right? This is the same thing as saying your y, but we say f of x or g of x, right? So again, I'm going to go do the first one here where I have g of 4. That's where you start with. So that's x equals 4. So let's go to the g map, which is right over here. We're at fx equals 4. All right. So what is going to be the g of 4 value? Well, it's going to be this top part right here. That's g of 4, which is 5. All right. So now I know that g of 4 equals 5. So then I could say, okay, well, f of g of 4, we said g of 4 is 5. So now I have to look at the f map and where x equals 5, which is right here, and then find its value to that. So this right here is your f of 5, and that's equal to 4. All right, so we can say that one is 4. If you do the f of 3 and g of 2, you might have something going around in a circle, right? But that's how you do it. Okay, this is number 4. I'll do the first one for you, and then you can do the rest of it. So I'm going to find my g of 10 first. Well, here's your g map right over here. And your x equals 10. Your g of 10 is when x equals 10. Well, the value is going to be that 6 right here. This is g of 6. Oh, wait, no, that's g of 10. I'm sorry. Went too fast. So if g of 10 is equal to 6, I now have f of 6, isn't it? So I'll go ahead and look for the f. There's the f, where there's x equals 6 right there. So now my value is going to be 4. So this answer should just be 4. All right. All right, same thing goes with the question 5, except remember, this is an ordered pair of x, comma, f of x. Remember, we said our y value is your f of x, right? This is the same thing as saying your x, g of x. Okay. So let's go ahead and do the first one. So I got to find at g of -2. So there's your g function. Well, this is an x equals -2. Remember, the first one of the ordered pair is the x, and that's going to be right here. Okay, and then what's your g of -2? Well, that's going to be -3. So this is g of -2. So now this is equal to f of g of -2, which is -3. And then we got to find f of -3. This is when x equals -3 for f. So here's f, the first row, and I can see that there's -3, so my value has to be 1. All right, so that's a brief rundown of this learning activity. Hopefully that was helpful. I figured this would be. I'm getting a lot of questions about this, and I figured, why not just break it down for you all? But other than that, that is it. Okay, we'll see you next time I see you, I guess, when we're doing our PC or retakes. But good luck, okay? Take care.